Hello everyone and welcome. It's the 2024 Discraft Cascade Challenge taking place at Shelton Springs Disc Golf Course. This is our FPO Feature Card including last year's champ, Mertsch. Stacie Rawnsley on the card. Coming out of Canada, Sofia Donnecke. And rounding out our card, a couple weeks ago she took down a Q-Series event. We're talking about Finley. First round of 3. Oh dear. We're in for the action. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't help myself. Gonna be a good time here. Mostly playing from the white tee pads throughout this course. Yes, this is the exact same tee actually, though we saw from the MPO play from. For the most part, they played from blue tees with the exception of a few holes. And similarly, the women will mostly play from the white tees with a few exceptions. First tee shot from Mertsch. It's about 2/3 of the way down the fairway. Rawnsley keeping it clean all the way past the pin. Just inside the circle. Sofia hasn't been playing very long. She's quite accomplished outside of her disc sports. Went to Harvard for her undergrad. I believe has a PhD in chemistry. Some ultimate background in mountain biking, hiking, really insane professional photography. She does quite a few things. And Finley certainly has had quite a life before coming into disc golf and being a professional model. So the diversity that we find throughout the card, incredible. Holly forced to lay up. Cat really not with many options besides the layup as well. Sofia, her birdie look from circle's edge goes just deep. And Stacie with the most clean of looks. Oh, just barely. Too low on that left side. Doesn't get it to fall. And believe it or not, this isn't the first time that I've seen or talked a little bit with Sofia. She actually did commentary with Jen Allen way back at the Shelley Sharp. So big shout out to her for in a sense being on the channel already back in the January, February time frame. And we head over to hole number 2. Heiser out and around. Drone shots thanks to Justin over at Fairway Media. Most of these were taken just the day before the event, had almost all sunshine. And spoiler alert, it wasn't all sunshine throughout the round. Cat with no problem, of course, getting through the gap, and she'll be outside of the circle. Hole 2's green is arguably the most open green on the entire course. I don't think there's actually any arguing about it. Such a beautiful mix of woods and open area throughout the course. But holes 2, 3, and then somewhere around 7 and 10, I feel like those are the most open sections, and it kind of all runs along the same stretch, going from right to left on those holes. Big hyzer for Holly. And closest to the pin. Let's see who can strike first. If only we had a direct line into Mertsch's brain. I'm not sure I could be following along for all of it, but damn, it would provide some good insight and also plenty of humor, I'm sure. Finley trying to pick up the first birdie of the group, and she's done just that. Action starting off on a Friday morning. 3 rounds. They'll play the exact same course all 3 rounds. We've got Elijah out there on the throw cam. The description of his disc golf channel, along with some other work that he does in terms of cars and just all around interesting stuff. I'll put that in the description. And then, as I said, very local is Justin from Fairway Media. Hole 3, a par 5, somewhat of a soft par 5. 660. You have hazard on the left. You're trying to get here and penetrate through this gap, and then it'll follow all the way to the basket. The baskets are in all of the same positions that you saw any of the other coverage from this year. Just a matter of tees being in different spots. This is from the red tee.
That was scary.
Scary but safe. Not a problem. And I've been told the prevailing wind is really somewhat of a crosswind coming over their left shoulder as they're standing on this tee. We'll pan over to where the basket is buried deep beyond there. So kind of coming over Holly's left shoulder, or even almost directly left of where she's standing, over her left arm, pushing from left to right in that case. And we'll find that come into play on a couple of the other more open holes I was just mentioning before. Namely, I think 7 and 8 and 10. Mertsch just outside of circle 2. So you can see already there in 2. She'll have a long eagle bid. Stacie keeping it low, getting a couple of skips. And also just outside of circle 2. Trees around this green are just somewhat scattered. I wouldn't say you're in jail by any means. You can see here Holly will have what's a rare forehand from Finley, although very effective to get out and around. She'll have that left for birdie. Just overall not too punishing near this green. Stacie trying to put the brakes on. Hole 3 playing as the easiest hole on the course relative to par. And the second easiest hole is the one they just played in hole 2. And the fourth easiest is hole number 1. So 3 out of the 4 easiest holes are how you start out this round. Stacie not taking advantage, though. "27 competitors in the field." I believe they're going to cut to somewhere around 12 of them that will make the cash in a few days. Sofia on the board. I mean, who doesn't love a tap-in birdie? Or drop-in, for that matter. Stacie's still hunting for the birdie. We head to hole 4, 295 feet. I know I was just talking about the ease of some of these holes. Hole 4 then plays as the 6th easiest. So 4 out of the first 6 are the easiest holes on the course. Statistically, at least during round number 1. Holly doesn't love it. But as you hear somebody else in the card say, it's going to work out. Mertsch just outside of bullseye. Pretty peaceful out here. Just hear a few birds chirping. Not too much wind. The threat of rain and or already seeing and feeling some has happened. So that may be a constant throughout the weekend. And even though I was just talking about the easiest holes, 4 out of the first 6 are your play as the easiest. By the time you get to our 3rd easiest hole, 9, or our 4th easiest hole in 1, you're already averaging over par. So only 2 holes on this course will average under par, and it was holes 3 and 2 that they just played. Solid, firm putting stroke. And just like that, umbrellas are out. As I mentioned at the opening, Holly picking up a Q-Series victory just a couple of weeks earlier. That was held the Discmania's 303 over there in Colorado. The information will be in the description, but just know that the Q-Series events are in fact open to everybody. Yes, it is an opportunity for non-tour card earners to earn points to potentially then work themselves into earning a card for next year. So someone like Holly, for instance, who already has a touring card, she's not, so to speak, stealing any points or taking away any possibilities. Anytime that someone is already qualified for a tour card, it essentially, from the Q-Series perspective, is as if they're not even there. They just skip right on to the next person where it becomes relevant for. So we're here on hole number 5. It's the first par 4 of the round. And obviously comes all the way down to positioning. Rain has turned up another notch. Holly short of where we just saw the shot by Mertsch. And we'll see how this continues to flex out. Oh, and it's one of the late trees. Stacie's still in search of her first birdie. I had a lot of heat on it by the time it stopped. So Finley finds the fairway. She still has about 100 feet to the pin. The red marker, the red pole that you see out there, that indicates 100 feet left to the pin. I don't think Mertsch liked it out of her hand, but then it works out, and it somehow filters through the back end of that bush. Not ideal positioning. And looking for a late kick to the right, doesn't get it. It's still going to be salvageable, as I can almost spit that word out. She'll have a chance to be able to get up and down. Here's her third. Oh, doesn't get all the way to the green, so she'll still have a long look. But that's a very difficult par save coming up. Now, Stacie, no better option than just to pitch out. And that is a lesson for everyone at home. Sometimes you just have to take your medicine and just simply pitch it out to the fairway. Rather than trying to manufacture something that's not there and turn it into even a worse situation. As painful as it may feel at the time, pitching out might be your best option. And like I said, Mertsch made it through so much more of that bush, and she was actually able to approach to the pin, which it was just a matter of a few feet from where her and Stacie were. So Sofia with this. That's going to bring her to a double. Giving up 2 here on hole number 5. She goes to over par. We just talked about playing, 4 of the easiest holes out of the first 6 come in the holes that they just played. But you get to hole 5, second most difficult. And you didn't see any birdies here, and honestly, out of the 27 women, we didn't see any birdies at all on the day. We head over to hole number 6, 4th most difficult. You have a Mando on the left side, so you must go to the right. A little over 300 feet, 3 1/4. Almost 100 meters exactly. 99 meters and change. That's for all my non-US friends watching. Not going to complain about that kick or the second kick and the roll. All things coming up Mertsch at the moment. She'll take it. That's early. And it looked like Stacie may have hit the Mando sign. Well, the tree that holds the sign, that is. She said, I made it, as in the Mando. Then she clarified and said, well, I haven't missed it yet. And can she make up for it? Well, that's going to give her a long look. That's still going to be circle 2, though, for the par. For the par. And Stacie, again, forced just to pitch out. Forehand. Yeah, not a terrible kick.
Yeah.
Holly, alternative route out and around. Sofia's third. That looks like a bogey coming up for her. And Holly had thrown from the red tee because she had missed the Mando. Oh, and Stacie. Not a lot of things going right for her at the moment. She's going to tack on some more strokes there. That's going to be a double bogey. Sofia moves to 2 over. And after all of that, Mertsch just waiting for her turn. She's got to look for birdie. Looking at picking up 3 on Finley. 3 on Stacie. And 1 on Sofia. Excuse me, 2 on Sofia. Do the math. So a huge scoring swing here on the 6th. Cadence Kennedy and Kat Mertsch, the only 2 to birdie on the 6th. We head to 7. This one's pretty straightforward. 345 straight out. You have OB on the left side, and I believe you have deep OB behind the basket, and I think also off to the right. That's something I should verify. Oh, and a huge skip. The basket almost getting in the way. Mertsch will be in circle 2. And here again, this is in a similar, we'll say, positioning to what you find on hole 2, for instance, where it's going to be coming over your right shoulder, blowing from right to left. As a righty backhand player has to account for that. If you can feel any wind, that is. That's the direction it's going to be blowing. And that is pulled way off to the deep right side, and maybe there isn't any out of bounds. Couple of these holes that are in the open, as you can hear, also relatively close to the nearby road. This basket's probably the closest of all of them to the road, so you're certainly going to hear that traffic. The birdie bit is off the top for Sofia, so she'll remain at best at 2 over. Finley cleans up for par.
Yeah, you're okay. I'm getting all this.
And we'll see Sofia step up. A little bit left on the comebacker. I believe both Kat and Sofia are blessed to have caddies out here during this rainy opening day. Caddies and support people come in a variety of levels, and when it's raining, I can't think of a more valuable person to have out there to help keep so many more things dry and keep the wet off you as much as possible. as we head to 8, 555 feet, a par 4. I love the green. Then again, in walking around this course, that's what I kept thinking when I arrived at most of the greens. I just thought, how beautiful. So essentially playing back in the exact opposite direction, or in a very similar parallel, but yet opposite direction as we just saw on hole number 7. So effectively throwing through the open field, and Finley taking an alternative route. Aren't you glad you're inside watching this right now instead of being on the course?
Yeah, Stace. Yes, ma'am. Thanks.
Temps in the 60s.
It doesn't say anything about a Mando,
I don't think
but it definitely has a little arrow pointing.
And we hear a conversation, Kat talking about a Mando. The sign that's on that tree that we're just going past right there, I believe that's a Mando that was in play last year. And this year they've designated some hazard areas and kind of changed things up a little bit. But that is not a Mando, even though it looks like it would be. It's not for this tournament. You see that painted line there, and inside of there is a hazard where you play it with a penalty stroke, and you play it from there with penalty. Kind of like I won't say a fake lake, because I guess you don't really stand in a fake lake. Sofia lines herself up nicely. Finley, a long bid. Par likely in store. Just 100 feet. Stacie trying to find the finesse, just the right amount of touch. No good on the birdie bid for Mertsch. Good putt to save the par. Also, a solid putt for par save. She's not excited or enthused, and I can understand. Just doesn't feel like things are clicking yet for her. Almost halfway through the round. Mertsch, your defending champ. This was a silver event on the 2023 Disc Golf Pro Tour last year. Women's side, we had Kat taking it down, and over on the men's side, I believe the champ was Ricky Wysocki. All of that action out on our friends' channel over at Central Coast Disc Golf. I was not involved in the event in any capacity, so this being my first time here, just blown away by how beautiful everything is. We head to the 9th, 290 feet. Shocker, a tunnel shot. And yeah, just, you know, right on through here. Man, Mertsch asking for all of the luck. I mentioned it earlier, 9 plays as the 3rd easiest hole on the course. It still averages over par, but the third easiest hole in the course. Finley seems to, oh, that doesn't seem fair. Just when you thought that she was going to have it perfectly dialed in, it'd be one thing if it would have came there and then just maybe hit and stopped, but the fact that it got up and then rolled. All right. Stacie looking for her first birdie. Will it come here on 9? Not on point for Sofia from circle 2. Finley looks to be about just a step outside of circle 1, and man, so close to being parked, and instead gets the roll to circle 2. Stacie trying to get on the board. And she's done it. Three birdies on the day on hole number 9. As I said, averaged over par. So 3 birdies out of 27 competitors. Raven Klein, Sadie Shattuck, and Stacie Rawnsley. What was I just saying about a caddy? She's got the mug, the bag, towels, the umbrella, all of which are needed. And certainly a good day to have a caddy. So there's the question for you guys. Is there any scenario where you turn down a caddy? There's players that just simply, would rather not have them. But is there any scenario where you would rather not have a caddy at all? And if so, I'd love to hear the reasoning. Or tell me, if you're going to take a caddy, what would be the best reasoning to have one? We head to 10. Par 4. And you're just trying to play to this open area. Anywhere out here, honestly, will set you up. You can't go too deep. You see the white flags here on the shallow side of your screen. That means you've gone too far and you've gone out of bounds. But you're just trying to place yourself almost anywhere out here with a 275-foot, maybe 300-foot throw. And that should just give you a few hundred feet into the pin. Just 505 feet. The more right you are without getting too close to that tight right side can maybe pinch off your angle. It'll get you closer to the pin, though. You see Holly will have the longest distance to carry. And even from out where she was, if she just puts a slightly better angle on it, she's getting to the pin. Easy forehand work coming out of Mertsch. Yeah, not quite the angle. She said it was low. Looked like she kind of pulled that over to the left, right out of her hand. Stacie also pulls it left.
Right there.
She says it.
Good shot, please.
The gap is right there. It's just a matter of hitting it. I'm surprised to see this play at 4.41 on the day. I was expecting to see a little better scoring here, and Stacie almost makes up for the bad approach with a solid putt. However, par is coming up. Finley just whispers as she goes past the chains. Cat moves to 4 under. That's 4 clear of the next best on the card. Cat Mertsch, Jennifer Rice, the only 2 birdies on 10 today. The umbrella essentially stored away again. We'll see how long that holds up. I think it's fair to say they've all had their chances. Birdies are there to be had. We head to 11. One of my favorites, 285 feet. It's an island hole. You have to get over this set of bricks inside these pavers. Pretty big island once you get there. Plenty of space here. And if you miss the island, you go out of bounds at all. You go to the drop zone. And that's going to be out of bounds.
My mistake.
And this is actually the blue tee as you're seeing. Same tee was played by the FPO division. And Sofia, near park job. You're going to love that. The incredible club out here has had the white and blue tees for quite some time, I've been told, and was more recently where they added the red tees. So you're looking at 3 different tees ultimately, and a different and 1 pin position on every hole. I don't know what that was. It's probably better that way. Mertsch, how aggressive does she want to be? She could save the par. Nah. I'm guessing. Okay. Speaking of birds, Sofia picks up another one. The noises coming from the competitors a moment ago, I think, were mimicking some of the bird noises. That makes sense. Holly. In. As you can imagine, very possible birdie to get, but also incredibly easy to go out of bounds. 44% of the field took bogeys here. Sofia, Holly, Julie, and Lindsay were your 4 birdies. So you saw 50% of the birdies of the day happen right here on the feature card as we head to hole 12, a par 4. Couple different ways to go about this. You see players can go up the left side or the right side. You're looking to land in what I believe is the old pin position, and then from there, you'd love the extra 150, maybe 180 feet to the pin.
Sorry for talking.
And I guess I'm thinking of the double gap more pronounced from the blue tee as opposed to this white tee. So it seems pretty obvious which way they want to go. And you saw right there a little orange mark on the ground. That's actually the old basket placement. So if you haven't been here in a few years, that might be what you're used to seeing.
I couldn't. I was going to try to go, and then the bird...
Stacie getting worked. great reset. Flipping the catch cam around, making Justin turn all the way around. I was just going to say, that's some pretty good forward progress. Finley forced to another forehand. You couldn't ask for much more than that. I'm not sure if that's exactly how she drew it up, but we'll say it is. That'll leave Mertsch with a long look for birdie. Sofia with her third. Or, excuse me, this is just her second. Well, you can see the tunnel. You see the gap now that she's left with. Third most difficult hole on the course is hole number 12 here. Good angle, just too much power. That's going to go to about 9 meters.
Oh, no.
I already think of the comments, people yelling at me. And I occasionally bust out a meter reference from time to time. And then all too predictably, then somebody says, we're in America. Give us feet. Yet we've got a Canadian on the card, and we're not too far from the border, quite honestly. So if there's a very appropriate time to throw in an occasional metric distance, I'm gonna. You can roast me in the comments if you must. Holly Finley doing work. I'm talking boat. Oh, and it splashes out. And ultimately, 0 birdies on hole 12 during round number 1 from the FPO division. "33% of the field bogeyed, and 15% of the field was a double bogey or worse. Sofia's become one of those statistics. Par is good on the 12th. Remember that as they head to the 13th. Doesn't seem like par's necessarily too bad here either. What a tunnel shot, or an opportunity for a few different tunnels, possibly. Finley gets it to bend left to right, and she loves it. It might have been Lloyd Christmas somewhere saying how he likes it a lot. Like a lot. Is that the right reference? It's been a minute since I watched me some Dumb and Dumber. All right. Rawnsley kicks off to the left side. Now Mertsch going forehand.
Solid. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. All right. It looked good.
All right, I think she took that pretty well. All things considered. She also did drop down immediately, which is probably the best thing that could happen there. If it's not going to carry toward the basket, having it drop down and not veer too far off course.
What?
What?
That's a gap?
I swear I saw you do that on coverage last year. Was that not you?
That was me. I want to do that. Sayananda did it.
Oh, look at that.
Funner gap. Okay. Okay.
Look at that. Yeah, you learn. Too bad she didn't have the box, right? Maybe it would have changed things up a little bit if she had had the honors and then went first. Instead, saving the trickery for last. Stacie trying to get up and over. Should be able to scrape up a par from there. Can she make it count? Well, it's going to count. It's going to be for par. And nothing wrong with a par here. Finley, though, to become the only par in the entire field today. No. Zero birdies on the 13th. %33% of the field had bogey or worse. You do that math, that means 67, 2/3 of the field. What is that, 18 out of 27? 2/3 of the field ultimately parred it. So very tough birdie to get out here, it appears. Holly not taking anything for granted. Full focus, understandable. You don't want to give any strokes away. We head to the 14th. 540 feet, a par 4. Birdies are also tough to come by here. And you can see as you push through the last third or so of this hole, just tons of scattered trees. How far can you penetrate off the tee and hope to possibly give yourself some kind of look to get all the way to the pin on the second shot?
All right.
Well, Holly couldn't say it any better.
Now, Lou, don't care. Stop. Stop. I didn't go so far.
Umbrella's currently tucked away, hopefully for good. Another big drive. That'll give Mertsch an opportunity to get up and down and find a birdie. It hasn't been birdied yet today, as our final card is coming through. And that one gets hung up. Does it have the right amount of turn? It does. Somehow filtering through. I thought it was going to definitely connect with one of those. And instead gets all the way through. Finley has a birdie look. As will Stacie. We'll call that a kick in her favor.
Oh, Cat. You are the most stinky. Not the most stinky.
Some superlatives out there. The most stinky? Okay. Circle 2. Cashing it in. And Kat is the first woman to birdie the hole today.
Second most stinky. You're like
Finley's opportunity at birdie comes in too hot. All right. All right. Good recovery from Sofia. She'll walk away with the par. She'll remain at 3 over. Mertsch, as you can see, though, just trying to pull away from everybody. Sitting all the way at 4 under. She's just had one blemish, I believe. She bogeyed back on 11. That was the island hole. And Stacie picks up a birdie to chip away at that over par score. And this is exactly what I meant when I said earlier about you just get to the greens and you're like, yeah, just, you can't argue with it. They look so beautiful. We head to the 15th. On the slightly easier side, it feels like. Just 250 feet. Danger is down to the right and deep of the basket. And that's going to be short and right.
Yeah, good job. Thanks.
I think the number one mistake that people make on this hole, and I think what we'll see in the next couple of holes, is you don't have to park the shot. You have to do exactly as Kat did. You have to do exactly as what Holly just did. You essentially want to throw it dead straight and then make a putt from inside the circle. Make the 20, 25, 30 footer, whatever the case might be. But I feel like too many people try to make sure they get all the way to the pin, and then they're trying to twist something or put more angle on it than what's really required. And that's where you can get into trouble, is just kind of trying to manufacture too much. And after exploring all options, we see Stacie, just a little forehand flick. Finley buries it. That's a birdie. She'll move to 2 under. Momentarily, we'll pull a little closer to Kat Mertsch. Kat, at this point, if she's checking scores, she would see that she's out in front of the entire field. They're the last card to play for the day on this FPO side, and she's already at 5 under. Just 3 holes left to play.
So, hold fast.
So a couple birdies, couple pars. As we head to the 16th, 310 feet. Pars are common here. We'll see if our feature card can do anything about that. Little tunnel shot action. No elevation, so to speak, to deal with. You saw the little bit of elevation you find on the course really comes in the form of a couple of raised baskets.
Oh, yeah.
And then holes 15 and 17 have somewhat of a slope near the green. That's about it. As Mertsch is completely clean on the tee. Finley.
Oh, you dirty dog.
So we got Stinky, and now we got a dirty dog.
That look good. Yeah. Might get there.
Rawnsley will have a long look, but open one at that. Does it miss the one required? There it does. It's going to flex back out to the left.
You know how all my pants are always you see my ankles? Yeah. Not anymore.
So we'll see how aggressive she wants to be. Pretty legit bid by Finley as Sofia is deep in circle 2. And not much aggression there. We're watching Cat with a birdie look. What?
You didn't think it was going in? I hated the way it felt.
Man, I wish I hated how they felt.
Yeah, one of those failed successfully.
Oops. So big thanks. I know I mentioned them earlier, but Elijah, Chisley Bear Studios out there, along with Justin from Fairway Media. This is the first round that these guys have captured together ever in a throw catch scenario with the two of them working together. Literally their first round as the camera crew, and as I'm working on the edits here, big thanks to those guys. I appreciate all the effort here as we have just 2 holes left to play in round 1, hole 17, 325 feet. This one down the tunnel, and as I was mentioning, off to this right-hand side is where you can find some trouble. The canopy is not quite as low as it is on 15, but there is definitely a slope.
Almost said bitch. I didn't.
I know, I was looking too.
I looked too. I didn't know either. I wasn't sure.
No censorship here, folks. Cat's a free spirit. I let her speak her mind.
Oh yeah, Stacie. Lovely.
Stacie. Oh, yeah, basket hunting. Big skip. She'll ultimately land way at the back of circle 1, but still a birdie look. And Sofia with a double kick.
A little, a shot in the middle.
Wow. Finley busting out the rhymes. Not a lot of forward progress. Cat, who's way out in front right now, she's sitting at 6 under, in trouble here on the 17th.
Yes.
And no more trouble for Sofia. That looks like a par recovery shot. Mertsch throwing her 3rd. That is short. Big thanks to Jeff Corns and to the local club out here, Mason County, doing so much work to provide us this beautiful venue to play at. Shelton Springs, obviously highly regarded, and I can understand and see why, as Mertsch is in big trouble here on the 17th. Presenting sponsor in Discraft. And then to all of the incredible FPO competitors, 27 in total. As Rawnsley's, oh man, after hitting right side, it goes all the way down here. And that's to save par.
I love making it difficult on myself.
Yeah, that certainly is difficult. And speaking of which, Mertsch, the double bogey. So she bogeys hole 11, and then the double here on 17. Still out in front of the rest of the division as she's sitting at 4 under, 1 hole left to play. Sofia with the incredible recovery to walk away with par. Finley looking to do the same. And with that, we'll have just 1 hole that remains No promises yet, but we might have some special guest commentators for rounds 2 or 3. All you can do is tune in tomorrow to find out if we could pull that off. That was the intention. However, there's always a couple struggles when you're talking about that, so we'll see if we can make it happen as we're at the 18th and hole 18, the single most difficult hole on the course, 635 feet.
Okay, could have been further.
It's a par 4. Really all about how far can you push it. Can you get all the way out into the opening? Yeah. As they said, Stacie's going to like that. You don't want to skip hard left and find the left side rough. You definitely don't want to go into it that early either. But even with Stacie's shot, you have to be careful that as you get all the way out, a really hard finish can take you out of position as well. And that was going left. Okay. Are we at that point? Do I have to beg you guys? Like, share, subscribe. We're over 100,000 subs. I really appreciate you guys, especially all of the Patreon contributors. There's so many events that really wouldn't even get covered if it weren't for the additional support and help that I get from Patreon, and I always have a giveaway. So when you're commenting, yes, you're helping the algorithm, but also that's giving me a chance to then pull your username, and then every video I put out, I eventually do a drawing and then give away a disc. You get something a little extra special if you're already a Patreon subscriber as well, but really appreciate the support. Fighting. That's the best word I've got for it. You see there is OB on the right side of this fairway. And Finley will be short and left. This is one of the elevated pins. Not too drastically. Just up a couple of tiers here on a rock structure. A little bit of a mound.
Oh, thank you.
And Sofia has a window. And that looks like it'll work out just fine. Keep in mind, as you're closing out on this tournament and both rounds 2 and 3, hole 18 is no walk in the park. Averaged 4.81, so much closer to averaging bogey than otherwise. Rain decides to pick back up for the final few putts. And when it's all said and done, Kat Mertsch, she's going to be your leader. Spoiler. Leading after round number 1. You couldn't ask for much more, trying to defend the title she captured here in 2023 and opens with the hot round in 2024's campaign. Sofia Donnecke. She'll finish with 4 over. Keep in mind, her career so young in disc golf, and I've seen so much potential from her. She also played at the Memorial, which is another event that was obviously featured on my channel, and she's done some impressive stuff, and I think it's only going to continue to get better, and she clearly is naturally talented and gifted with all the other things that she also goes out and attacks in her life. So looking forward to that superstar in the making. Holly Finley will finish with the bogey. That's a 1 under on the round, and that's going to be enough to keep her on a lead card. Mertsch at 4, Finley at 1 under, Julie Mowens at 1 under, and Raven Klein. So we'll see 2 new women on the lead card. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for round number 2.